So, I was a little hesitant to make this video because it circles around a pretty big mistake that we made when we traveled overseas to Thailand. When I booked our tickets to fly over, I put them under my wife's married name because she was planning on renewing her passport before we left and would have changed her name to her married name from her maiden name that she still had in her passport. Now, that didn't happen before we left. She flew on her old passport because it was still valid, and we went to the airport with her marriage certificate and name change information, driver's license, and all these other pieces of identification that we thought would suffice to say that although her booked ticket was for April LeBlanc and her passport is for April Crooks, that April Crooks and April LeBlanc are the same people, and we had all of the documentation to prove that. And we just didn't think it would be a problem. Way wrong. Getting out of Victoria was stressful. Getting out of Vancouver was even more stressful. But once we got over to Asia, we did make it through. Once we got over to Asia, we started filing all the paperwork to get our passport, or excuse me, get the ticket name updated for our departure back home. And to get back home, we were leaving out of Kuala Lumpur, laying over in Hawaii for a family wedding, and then getting back to Vancouver after the family wedding. So it was pretty quick to change the names on two of the legs. Our flight from Hawaii back to Vancouver changed quite quickly. We also had some domestic flights that we needed to change for April, and those were pretty easy to change. But for some reason, our flight from Kuala Lumpur over to Hawaii, it just couldn't get changed. And we filled out all the paperwork, same stuff we did with all the other flights, went through all the same channels to get the name changed, and they just kept running us around saying, okay, no, you have to fill out this form. Now you have to talk to Hawaiian Airlines. Now you have to talk to Korean Airlines. Now you have to talk to Expedia about the ticket booking. And it was just this endless back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, which didn't make a lot of sense because we had changed names on all these other tickets just by following the same paperwork, and nobody could figure it out. Nobody could get it done. And eventually they just told us that they weren't going to do it, and that April was just going to have to buy another ticket, and that was going to be about $6,000 for her to fly from Kuala Lumpur to Hawaii. And it wasn't really like an optional leg of the trip. This was her sister's wedding, so we had to make it happen. And we didn't really know what to do. We didn't have the finances to look at booking another ticket like that. And we were honestly just irate with the operation that we couldn't get things changed. That everything else changed. We're like, we'll pay. Like, it clearly stated on the websites that if you have to change your name, send the paperwork, and you may have to pay a fee, and we'll change it. And they just wouldn't follow through on it. So you're going to be surprised when you watch the video about flying, about the fact that we went through security with a passport and the passport and a boarding pass that did not match, and nobody batted an eye. We went through security in Victoria with boarding passes and passports that didn't match, and they let us through. We went through security in Malaysia, and they let us through. We flew all the way to South Korea. April exited the airport, came back in, and when we got to the ticketing check-in desk for Hawaiian Airlines to leave South Korea and go to Hawaii, the agent at the desk literally just changed the boarding pass for us. So I'm not going to spoil anything else. I'm just going to kind of roll the old footage of us working our way through the Kuala Lumpur airport and getting on our plane to get over to South Korea. And I threw in a little bit of footage of our layover in South Korea, because that was a pretty cool experience. 15 hours to kill in South Korea, and they run free tours that leave from the airport. They're run by the airport with a guide from the airport. They're on a bus, so it's like you're going to get back in time for your flight because the airport's running the show. But yeah, with 15 hours to kill, we had to do something. I wasn't just going to stay there. We were a little stressed about leaving the airport because of the mismatching of the tickets and stuff, but we were like, oh, screw it. We had come this far. They're not just going to abandon us in South Korea because April's name doesn't match or anything. So yeah, anyway, here's the old footage, and I don't know, hopefully you'll learn something from this experience. I know we definitely did. Alright, so we're getting ready to board. I've got April's boarding pass here. We also have April's passport. Blur out some of the important details here. The only thing that matters is that her name there still says April Crooks, and her boarding pass says April LeBlanc. So we're taking a pretty big gamble right now. We've been trying for, I shit you not, the last month, working with Expedia, Malaysian Airlines, Hawaiian Airlines, our insurance company, and anybody that'll listen to us cry about trying to get April's name changed on this flight. We booked it under the wrong name, but that happens. And all of our airlines had policies written on their websites that said, they'll change the name if you screw it up, you just gotta pay a little fee. And nobody would change her name. We got 2 of our other flights changed. We got our flights from Canada over to Asia changed. We actually did that at the airport, like somehow. We then got our flights from Hawaii to Canada changed, did that online, filed the forms. WestJet didn't charge us anything, Expedia didn't charge us anything. On the very same day, I filled out forms to change this flight, and it didn't get changed. The next week, I filled out more forms, more phone calls, more emails, more begging and pleading and not understanding why they could not change our tickets. They're not chiseled in stone. It's just written on the computers. So here we are, we've just checked in, and we're getting ready to go through security. We're here like hyper early because we're not sure how smooth this is going to go. But right now, we have a boarding pass for April, and that's further that we got when we were leaving Vancouver, when we left Victoria. They wouldn't give us a boarding pass when we left Victoria because the names didn't match, and they couldn't change it for us. But then we got a boarding pass in Victoria, we got on the plane, we got to Vancouver, we begged and pleaded with ANA Airlines, they talked to Expedia, Expedia talked to ANA, we talked to ANA talked to Expedia, Expedia talked to my grandma, and they made a change. But somehow, with 4 weeks notice, Expedia could not make the change on this flight. So here we are, sweating our little heads off, hoping that we're going to make it through the next step. Security is the next step. After that, it's boarding. We have to change planes in South Korea, and then get to Honolulu. It's a 15-hour layover in South Korea, and we were planning on leaving the airport to go on some tours, but now we're not too sure if leaving the airport is going to be a smart thing to do, because we're going to have to go through security again if we leave South Korea airport. So we might just have to spend 15 hours in South Korea counting our blessings that we made it that far. But here we are right now, waiting to go through security with a boarding pass that doesn't match the name in her passport. Wish us luck. Okay, we've made it through to the other side. That's security behind us. That's customs behind us. That's immigration screening behind us. You know what's ahead of us? Flights to Hawaii. Or Korea first, sorry. Okay, so now we have about, 3 or 4 hours to kill in this airport. Yeah, I don't know how this worked. Everybody really double looked April's tickets and checked her face and stuff, but when it gets right down to it, she has a yeah. Yeah. I mean, when it gets right down to it, April's got a passport with her face on it, with her name on it, with entrance and exit visas from Malaysia last year.
Also, Marines typically scan your face everywhere.
Yeah, it's all biometric nowadays.
So no one gives a shit. It's just the airlines trying to make more money.
Yeah, I don't want to be Shakespearean about it, but what's in a name? It doesn't. So there's a lot of restaurants in the airport that'll really rip you off for lunch. So we're just here in this little convenience store at the instant noodle buffet. Some cold drinks. And we're gonna go chill out in the lobby and eat some nudes. So what do you do when you got 4 hours to kill in an airport?
Look at strange lollipops.
Yeah, check out duty free and all the weird things that they got. Lots and lots of chocolate. Oh yeah.
For the head of time.
Nice. Massive Toblerone, typical. But these really take the cake. Giant Pockies. Wife for scale. Those are really big Pockies.
Wife for scale. I really want the white cookie ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Can't get away from durian in Asia. But
if you buy enough booze, you get free luggage.
Oh yeah, you have free luggage to carry all your liquor if you buy enough. You just have to gate check it again. Mm-hmm. This though, holy Hannah, was the most expensive thing in the store. We do not have the money for any of this.
Nor do we want to spend it on booze.
No, we just bought some cheap cigars and we're gonna go hit a smoking lounge for one of those. And nestled amongst all of the unique and interesting international products, It's a little taste from home. Crystal Skull vodka made with pristine Newfie water. Pretty much the same price it is at home. Alright, so there's lots of good ways to kill time here in the KLIA airport. We've been here for, I don't know, about 3 hours waiting to get onto our flight. There's a nice spot right in front of you. You can rent a little room and have a little shower if you need to do that, if you're here on like a mid-trip layover. This little spot right here, you can rent a little shower sleep room for just 50 ringgit for an hour. And just next door they got the smoking lounge, so you can hang out there, hit the duty free, get some cigars, are pretty cheap. You can also have yourself a nice chair massage down here and annoy your wife by taking excessively long YouTube videos. See you at the gate. So here I am waiting to board the plane. Where's April? Right there. She made it. She made it. Yeah. I don't know how we did it, but we're here. Waiting to get on the plane, waiting to get seated, waiting to get to South Korea. See how it goes there.
Let's face it, you've heard this all before. Notice this is not your average briefing. Alright, put your stuff away.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already done so, please stow your carry-on luggage underneath the seat in front of you or in an overhead compartment. All electronic devices should now be turned off and stowed away.
Tina, no smoking.
Fasten your seatbelts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fasten your seatbelts.
It's really not the typical seatbelts on mystical, but since we're being careful,
Let's recap.
insert the metal tip into the buckle, pull on the loose and tighten the strap.
If you want to take it off, lift up the thingamabob.
I think it's called a flap. If the seatbelt sign is on.
Keep it on, keep it on.
If the seatbelt sign is off.
Keep it on, keep it on.
So please, for your safety,
Keep it on, keep it on.
Everything's special when we ride together.
If there's a drop in cabin pressure, an oxygen mask will automatically appear in front of you.
So we found the height of airport laziness here in South
Oh
Korea.
my god, it's gonna run into these
No,
people.
that knows what it's doing. Look at this little robot. This robot will carry your bags. You just input on the computer,
Other travelers this,
Yeah.
and then we'll get a certificate.
pass it on to whoever is beside the Louis Vuitton store when we get there.
Let's find someone that looks weak.
Yeah.
That's what it says on the.
Luggage for the week. Go robot, go robot.
Don't
Okay,
lose it.
this robot stole our bags. Just gonna let it go.
Carrying your airport of the week. It's gonna charge you after this.
How's it gonna charge me?
It's gonna charge you.
No, it's not.
It's gonna be like, here's your bill.
I'm just gonna like add it to our
It's
ticket.
gonna give up. And then,
Sorry about our robot.
It's not ours. It's not ours.
Go robot, go. Go robot.
We're just really bored.
Yeah. And this is how you kill time on a
In the
15-hour
airport in
layover.
Korea.
Okay, watch out.
Should we get our bags?
No, you're gonna confuse the robot. Oh. This is not any faster.
Your tour guide. Yeah, let's get started the tour. So, would you fasten your seatbelt for your safety? Yeah, thank
So first stop on our tour is the Presidential Palace of South Korea. It was not publicly accessible up until 2 years ago. The current president in South Korea has decided that he doesn't want to work here and live here. He decided that it would be better suited as a public tourist attraction, and he now works and lives somewhere else. So we're pretty fortunate to be here when this has become publicly accessible. It's been a tourist attraction only for the last 2 years. There's a lot of different tours being run through here today, but it's kind of nice just being herded along with the crowd because we're pretty tired. Been flying and moving for, I don't know, 18 hours or something so far, so we're not really in a position to be making decisions, just walking and moving and following everybody else, trying to make sure we get on the right bus later on. And we found our way through the peaceful, tranquil, Zen garden-y space of the presidential grounds. Everybody's just kind of walking behind everybody else, but we're making our own tour. Only got a few minutes left until we gotta go meet the bus. This is a nice break. Oh, there's fish. Just a one fish. Alright, stop number 2 on the free Korea tour bus is a street market. Looks like we're a little early. A lot of the stalls are still kind of wrapped up, but we got about an hour to kill around here to get something to eat, grab some souvenirs, get some fresh air, and then it's back to the airport. Alright, so we're hitting a little spa action, getting cleaned up before we carry on. A quick shot of the space before anybody else comes in. Nice little cleanup zone. There's some fresh water, a little bit of snacks and stuff. Toiletries. And yeah, it's tough to get videos in the spa when everybody's basically just kind of like walking around half naked in there. But it was a pretty like mellow kind of thing. They had one room that had like 3 hot tubs to hang out in, and another space that was just sort of like a quiet nap room. And they actually had a couple of saunas that were like, one was at a pretty high temperature, you definitely got a sweat on. Another one was kind of like a mild temperature that you could just kind of be warm and just have a nap in it. And with the hot tubs and the change rooms, those were like gender specific. So yeah, you're walking around naked, but it's not mixed gender. So yeah, I basically just had a nice soak in the hot tub, had myself shower, cleaned up, went in the nap room, had a little sleep, warmed up in the sauna room, had a little stretch, did a bit of yoga. Yeah, they use the like individual toothbrushes and combs and stuff just to kind of freshen up before you head on to your next leg of the flight. And I think it was like $25 per person to go in there, and you can stay for up to like 3 or 4 hours. So if you got a big long layover, then yeah, just go in and have a nap, set your alarm, and get on out. The one that we were in that video is actually outside of security. So when we went and did the city tour, when we came back, we hit up the little spa thing before re-entering security to go back into the airport. I think there were a couple inside of security in the airport, but they were a little bit more expensive than this one that was outside of the secure zone. Alright, so we're getting close to boarding time now, so we figured it would be a good idea to come and walk on down to our gate and just make sure everything was on time and actually gonna, fly out. So we saw on the little board that, Honolulu flight was coming up, and this lady saw us kind of looking at the board, so she's like, "Hey, you guys, are you flying to Honolulu? Are you transfer passengers?"
Yeah. We've made it through, I think we've made it through about 10 security, immigration,
Yeah, so it
baggage.
pulls up our
baggage once
yeah. She takes a look at our boarding passes, and she's kind of like a little bit confused, and she gets on the phone, starts talking in Korean, and all we can really make out is Canada, boarding pass, passport, and she's like,
Expedia, because we mentioned Expedia briefly.
yeah. So then she asks, "Oh, did you booked your ticket under your husband's last name? Is that right?" And we're like, yeah, kind of did that. And she's just like, clickety click click click. Wants to make a change once, and it didn't change at first. She printed it off. She's like, "Oh no, it still says Leblanc. Hold on, let me change it." And then she clickety click click clicks it, and now it says April's actual last name on her passport in like 10 seconds.
Like 15 seconds or like.
Yeah.
And that was like over like so much stress.
Yeah, we just like talked.
We almost bought another like $1,000 ticket.
Yeah. Only to just call their bluff and come to the airport and have them change your boarding pass literally at the gate.
Like the biggest thing we did was just play it cool, like everything was normal.
Yeah, we just kind of shrugged it off. We're like, "Oh, okay, you change it? Sure, fine, that's great, go for it, whatever makes you happy."
Nothing's bad.
Yeah. So everything's just great, gravy. Essentially, we just called their bluff. We went to the airport, tickets in hand, passports in hand, bags in hand, with a lot of time to spare in case we had to fill out a bunch of paperwork or something. But just, yeah, nobody batted an eye. Malaysian customs and immigration didn't really care. They asked if April was flying under her husband's name, and we were just like, yeah, that's what's up. And yeah, they didn't care. We had passports and all the identification to kind of go along with it, and they breezed us on through, changed the name at the gate, and it was super easy. So if you're stuck like we were stuck, pulling your hair out trying to figure out why you can't get your name changed, like I know it's a gamble. One of us might have been stuck in the country if they were hard nosed and wouldn't change their flight, but we were foreigners stuck in a foreign country. Like there is a level of human understanding in these situations. You're not just a number, and people will help you get through. We got a lot of help from the agents at the desks as we were like going through the airports and stuff, because they don't want to see you stuck. They're gonna do what they can do. But yeah, we went there with a lot of time to spare, and it worked. So hopefully this helps you out. But we are never gonna do that again. When you get your tickets, oh man, yeah, name out of your passport, exact. Make sure it matches exactly. Sometimes it's easy to change, sometimes it's a nightmare. So I hope you learned something from that video. I mean, yeah, we definitely learned something from the experience. Check out the other videos we got on our channel here, Silverjet Travel. You'll see our old logoing on there as Traveling Looney Adventures, but yeah, moving forward, we're under a new name of Silverjet Travel because I'm also working as a travel agent under Travel Best Bets. Based in Vancouver, British Columbia, so I can book you basically any kind of travel under the sun that you're looking for. If you want to do a backpacking trip through Thailand like my wife and I did, or if you want to go on a cruise, or if you want to go on an all-inclusive, or you just need some flights booked for corporate travel, hit me up through my Facebook page. You can see the contact info on there. We're right here on YouTube. See you in the next one. Thanks for following.